baseball would not be a sport without the fans who are in here who are supporting us. You would just have a bunch of talented baseball players in a stadium or a backfield, a high school baseball field. Can you imagine like Fernando Tatis Jr. like bat flipping in front of no fans and no one would know who he was? But since over the years, the past 100 years, fans have gravitated towards America's pastime, which is this sport. And now that we have platforms like social media, going into Web3, where athletes can connect with their community of fans, plus baseball fans in general. I don't care if you're a Yankees fan or Boston Red Sox fans, like, you are supporting this game. And I would be doing a disservice to you guys, I feel this to my core, to not take time on a Thursday night for an hour or two to answer questions, to pour back into y'all. So when baseball season does start and you're not a fan of, the Tampa Bay Rays, and the Rays come into your city, you're going to be like, you know what, Brett Phillips, that dude's cool, right? Like, he cares about fans in general. And I wish more athletes would take the time to recognize that. They come up on the bag, that you, the fans, take the time to give them all the love in the world. And I just, coming from a Major League Baseball player, I want you guys to value your favorite athletes on not necessarily doing this, but stories of or how they treat you, right? Like, you go out to a game and you get an opportunity to connect with your favorite player. Well, use that interaction for if you want to continue to support that player or value that player. You hear in the past of horror stories of kids or people in general who grew up as, following their favorite athlete, and they finally get that moment, whether it's at a meet and greet or whatever it is, to meet their favorite player, and the dude or the lady, the dude, they're just bad people. And you hear these stories and it tears you up because they followed you their whole life, and they get one interaction with you and they're just like, no, I don't have time for you, kid, or, get lost. Like, you hear stories like that and I'm just like, man, you idiot. Like, what are you doing? Right?
Yeah.
So, with all that being said, thank you to Candy Digital, first of all, for putting this on, and second of all, just thank you, baseball fans, for being, what I think are the greatest fans on earth. So appreciate y'all.
I don't know how to follow that up. That was as beautiful as an endorsement to not only Candy, but just fan service anyone could have ever stated, and I wholeheartedly agree. Done a lot of research on you, Brett. I know that you take a considerable amount of time to just take photos with the fans, to sign memorabilia. I know that, the strangest thing that you signed was also a forehead, by the way. So
Yes.
it definitely ranges. And, it's that personal touch that every person dreams about. They come to the game. They want to meet the athletes. It just adds to the experience. And I'm sure you just make their day or year by doing that. So really thank you. And, just a big round of applause, community, for everything Brett just said. So we really, really appreciate having you on, and couldn't be more thankful to have you as our first ever guest, our first ever athlete to speak in a community-related event for Candy.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that. And I want to touch on that about getting autographs signed. Like, what does that mean to Brett Phillips? I take 15 minutes before every game to go out there early and sign for as many people as I can. Why do I do that? I'm the only player who does that because I grew up 20 minutes from Tropicana Field. I remember being an 8, 9, 10-year-old, the Rays being my favorite team, and all I wanted to do when I went to the game is just talk to one Major League Baseball player. If I got an autograph, that would be amazing. But I recognized that there was a disconnect. And I always told myself as a kid, if I ever get the opportunity to be a Major League Baseball player, I'm going to take the time to sign for as many people as I can, because I remember being on the other side and wanting it just so bad. So again, I would be doing a disservice if I didn't do stuff like that. And I know there's not enough that goes around, regardless of the circumstances. But for me, I am just so blessed in living my dream as a kid. You can't forget where you came from and things that you enjoy to do as a kid. So this is why I enjoy doing stuff like this, just being able to pour back in, because all it takes is for one 8, 9, 10, 11, 12-year-old to come to a game and see how, I treated him or her. And then they're going to do that when they get to that level and be like, remember that and go about their business the right way. That's all we can do, right?
Yeah, and that's an underrated part of it all. I mean, if there was ever, for some reason, a reason to dislike the race, I mean, there isn't one. This just goes to show how
good we are.
amazing this organization. Well, I mean, yeah, well, that too. I just don't see a reason why you could ever dislike the race, and I think Brett goes to show why that is. So, hey, appreciate your genuine character. With that said, I'd love to kind of dig into how your journey started into NFTs. I know that's a big question. You're an NFT server with Candy being kind of the de facto MLB collectible to get in this space. And I guess I'll start off with saying, how'd you get into NFTs first? And then I'll gravitate that towards your journey in Candy.
Yeah, so first of all, I'll preface it by saying I'm a video game nerd. I loved video games. I loved video games growing up. I loved collectibles as a kid, baseball cards. So things like this, when back in November, when I witnessed NFTs getting more popular, I dove in head first, and that was the wrong mistake. My wife and I, we talked about setting, some supplemental income aside to play with. And before I get into this, please, this is obviously, I have to say this, not financial advice, but if this is something you're interested in doing, in collecting, please just be smart about it. This isn't, this shouldn't make or break you. Anyways, so I was influenced. I got influenced by NFT Instagram, like a lot of people are doing, which is insane, the amount of rug pulls and the amount of marketing schemes going on. For those of you who don't know, there are a ton of influencers, and I found this out, that are on a website page with their going rates of how much they will promote someone's NFT for, right? Which is crazy to me that they will say, you know what, I'll promote your NFT for $10,000, and they have no idea what they're promoting. And it's honestly, it hurts to my core that this is going on. But I'm an advocate for just doing your research and educating yourself moving forward. So, yeah, I mean, I got pumped, I got dumped, I got rug pulled, and finally just started leveraging my platform and meeting people in the space who were well respected, listening to Gary Vee, just listening to people who I thought were doing things the right way. How are they doing it? And so that's just a little backstory of how I got into the NFT space. And then when I saw Candy Digital come around, everyone I'm sure heard the podcast with the Full Send guys and Gary Vee. I actually got on your guys' space 2 weeks ago before launch with Gary, and I was just listening to what Candy Digital, they won the rights to MLB, and I was just like, yes, this is a community that I can connect with. Obviously, we all have a passion for baseball in here, regardless of whatever the intentions of people are in here. We all love baseball. Right? We wouldn't be in here if we didn't like baseball. So I loved it. And as a collector, as a kid of baseball cards, where I think Web3 is going in NFTs in general, it's a part of our future. And so Candy, it just grabbed my attention. And so I come in here a few days ago. On launch on Saturday, I got an all-star pack, and then I also got the play of the day with Randy Rosarina, which I think is the most electric play in Rays history of him stealing home. So I snagged one of those, and I've just been talking with people in here in the Discord, getting to know them and being like, hey, I'm in the space too. I know I'm on the other side of the card or whatnot, but we all have a passion here. Let's connect. So yeah, that's kind of the backstory of how I got into NFTs.
That's a wonderful story. And, you talking about your experience with, how you said, the rug pulls. And I mean, I've been there several times. It's an unfortunate part of the space. We're still very, very early, as many like to say. But, with being early, you're still prone to maybe a lot of bad actors and misinformation and kind of false promises. So, that's where hopefully the candies of the world make things much more certain, and something with maybe a solid background of people with a trajectory of success to help, bring something that you can have confidence in. And, we're really, really happy that you're here. And I mean, thanks for saying that about our community. It is a really, really welcoming and warm community, as you may have noticed. And you're part of the reason why. I mean, your character extends beyond and to many, many people here. There's a trend of people are just extremely passionate about collecting, about sports, and just hanging out with one another. And it's something that we all have the pleasure of doing day in, day out. So it's something really, really special, and I think that's a really awesome, unique perk of NFTs, including having someone like you here, having someone that actually plays the game of something that we collect. And speaking of something we collect, I want to go back to your teammate Randy. Did he get a chance to see his own NFT, his own play of the day?
You know what? I don't think he has seen that yet. There is a little bit of a language barrier with Randy. His English is not very good, but trust me, when I get to spring training, I'm going to put my phone up to his face and I'm going to be like, oye, papi. Like, tuka bio. Like, you're freaking good at baseball, my friend. Like, that's how we, my broken English, my broken Spanish, his broken English, like, we make it work. And so I'm super excited to show him that I have basically showing him that it's like, yo, I believe in you. I think you're a stud. But no, it's you know what I really am looking forward to, especially with this Discord server, is as how this Discord grows and we have a ton of just different fans in here. Just being able to come in here during the season and either get roasted by the other team that I'm facing, like, yo, Phillips, you suck tonight. Like, you went 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts, and I'm gonna be like, yes, like, I love that. Or the Rays fans being like, yo, Phillips, like, you did a great job, and I'll be like, yes, let's go. But just being able to connect, right? Like, how often you get to do that, and Web3 is just giving me the opportunity really to do that, which is so cool.
Absolutely, and I hope to see that more often. I mean, as folks may know, we also have Justin Turner roster playing in a growing roster of various athletes that are in tune with the space, and I hope to see that ever growing. And I'm sure Brett will continue exuding his passion on his teammates and those around him. Maybe just line up at first base once he rocks a line drive. Just speaking about NFTs, so
no doubt.
We'll
it's funny because Anthony Rizzo, we were playing New York late last year, and I get on first base to like pinch run, right? Because your boy over here, fifth outfielder, any chance he can get the field, pinch run, play defense. So, anyways, I run out there to first base, and Rizzo's like, "Yo, I got a dad joke for you." And it was around Halloween time, and I forget what the dad joke was, but this year when I get on first base and be like, yo, you into that Candy Digital? Like, you on that, you in that NFT game? Because we all know Rizzo's getting into it, but just being able to get on base or shoot the breeze as the season goes on about Candy Digital and just cool things like that, I think players will really start to gravitate towards the utilities of what this can offer and how they can maximize their platform and grow their fan base. Because let's be honest, we're all playing for 29 other teams. Yeah, I play for the Tampa Bay Rays, and quite frankly, I hope that I stay a Ray forever. This is my hometown. I love the Tampa Bay Rays, but the reality is, I mean, I've already played for 3 Major League Baseball teams. I could be traded over to the Cardinals or out west to the Angels next week, and I would have another fan base that already knew who I was. So I think guys need to understand that as well, and this is really cool.
Yeah, I mean, again, just super cool that you actually grew up a Rays fan, and now you're playing for your dream team, and you played such a pivotal role, especially in the 2020 World Series. By the way, I'm a huge Dodgers fan, but this sets up for a trivia question, so I can't quite go into that too much. Yeah. But hey, I just want to allude to that. I want to touch on one more thing, which is expansion punks, because we discussed it right at the beginning of this convo, but I think as people poured in, they might be out of the loop. Do you want to touch on that at all? What the NFTs on your cleats are that you wore to a baseball game, and maybe just speaking about why you like these expansion punks so much.
Yeah, I appreciate you allowing me to talk about that. There's so many different NFT communities out there, and for me, getting screwed in the beginning on a lot of them, I found expansion punks at what I thought was going to be the last project of my NFT career because of the marketing schemes I was getting killed on. And Jeremy, he's a director of Microsoft, Jeremy Posvar, he's doxxed, and he created expansion punks, giving all the credit in the world to Larva Labs in the first place for creating what is one of the top blue chip NFT projects out there. With that being said, Jeremy, over the summer, being with Microsoft, he's always on his computer at home. He has 3 daughters. And his daughters wanted to find themselves in the punks, the original punks project. But unfortunately, whatever had happened in the beginning, there's no women that wear hoodies, or there's no women that wear cowboy hats. So Jeremy expanded on the project. None of the pixels match. They're all different. He did his due diligence. This man is super intelligent, and he created a product that I believe in and is safe for me to promote with the inclusiveness, diversity, and then also the community. I'm in their Discord almost every day, and I love just how people are in that Discord. And I know as Web3 continues to develop, I want to surround myself with people who I believe are just good, wholeheartedly good people, and and I want to be a part of a community. And that's what I feel in expansion punks. And I know everyone in here has an NFT project that they feel like that, and that may be Candy, which is amazing. So for me, I just like to gravitate towards good people, and expansion punks. We have close to, I think, 30 professional athletes who have bought in on their own dime, have invested their own money, which is great. Lance McCullers, Paul George, Amir Garrett. I mean, the list goes on. Taylor Walls of dudes who are like, this is cool. I want to see this through. And so that's kind of where I enjoy, this NFT. It's because it's been successful. I haven't sold any. I'm not planning on selling. I have 11. I don't plan on selling for a long time. I'm in it long term. They're going to be on my cleats. But anyways, I appreciate you allowing me to talk about that. But to my point, just find a community that you want to ride with into Web3. As the metaverse and all this, we're so early. Find people that you share a passion of that community with, or you think are cool, and just ride it out. And that's where I'm at.
Of course, and thank you for sharing. By the way, Brett, this is an open forum for you to talk to the fans. So if I'm overstepping by talking about Candy specifically too much, feel free to just pivot the conversation and talk about what you want to talk about to the fans.
Oh, no, I appreciate that. The only thing we can talk about Candy shoot the whole time, but the only thing I don't feel comfortable talking about, just because it's going on right now, is the lockout.
Yeah.
Just out of respect, I won't answer any questions about that. But anything else we can ask away. And if there's a question that I don't know the answer to, I'm humble enough to be like, you know what, I don't know the answer, but I'm gonna find it out after this. So ask anything you want, man. You're not overstepping with anything.
I appreciate that. By the way, you got some love by Who Is It, who also rocks an X-Punk. He showed some yellow hearts and some fire emojis. So
who's
some love
on
over
first?
there.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
All right. I kind of wish we had a button that just goes for every question that you're just not comfortable with. But we have a lot of great ones, and I'm going to start from the top. So fans, they rushed. They were super passionate and eager to hear what you have to say. And I guess I'll start with, let's go with Rye Giblin, who asks, "Hey Brett, who do you spend the most time with on the Rays? And do you happen to have any good stories we wouldn't know of the 3 Rays All-Stars in these packs?" So I guess we could just go with, who do you spend the most time with on the Rays?
Yeah. So, hey, wait, who asked the question? I'm sorry?
Yeah, it was Rye Giblin.
Rye Giblin. I want to say the name. Rye Giblin, how are you? Thanks for asking that question. Who are some of the guys I spend time with? So we have a group of guys when we go on the road that we got together with almost all the time. Kevin Kiermaier, Tyler Glasnow, Mike Brasso, Andrew Kittredge. We get together, and these are on the road if guys' wives don't go or their families, their kids aren't with them. We just like to get together and do guy stuff, right? Like just shoot the breeze in a hotel room, go out to dinner. Literally, I mean, we are just so normal human beings. I wish someone could be a fly in the wall in those conversations. You're like, oh my gosh, you guys are such dorks. Like, this is what me and my friends talk about. So I love all. I cannot say one bad thing about anyone on the Rays, and I'm not just being political when I tell you the Rays acquire good character people. That is the truth. Like when Eric Neander, the GM of the Rays, goes to make a trade with another team, the first thing he asks is, how is this guy's character? Is he going to fit in our clubhouse? Because everyone knows that the Tampa Bay Rays just have good, genuine, wholeheartedly good dudes, and it shows. And it was something that was kind of different for me because coming from other organizations, it's the egos are large. There is large, and you guys have witnessed that, whether it's on via YouTube or Twitter. The opinions and egos, it's hard for me to deal with because it's not who I am. But with the Tampa Bay Rays, I can't say that about anyone.
I think universally in this server, we're all going to become Rays fans now, just hearing that. And also having you as basically an ambassador, unofficial ambassador Candy. I mean, it's just awesome to have you here, tell those stories. And it's really nice to hear about the culture that the Rays have set. I've literally never heard a single negative thing about the Rays in terms of their culture, the players, anything like that. So that's really nice to hear. I'm gonna switch it up by fielding questions, but also mixing up some trivia along the way. So, yeah. So for those that don't know the rules, we're going to host trivia. You'll have the chance to get a free MLB icon pack. And the first to answer correctly will get that pack. So be ready. We have a few questions. We're going to switch it up throughout the combo. So it's not going to be just one after the other. But if you do win one, you won't be eligible to win another. So just keep that in mind. I'm sure there is someone who just has an encyclopedia of Brett Phillips Opens, your number one super fan, but that also may not mean you'll get all the packs. I apologize. All right. With that said, let's start off with, let's go with Brett's middle name, Maverick, is also the same nickname as a certain character in which iconic movie? All right.
Holy cow.
Yep.
Was that the answer?
That is the answer.
I see the Mel Gibson reference down there. That's what I'm actually named after. Is the old the old Maverick movie by James Gardner, and Mel Gibson played that character. But obviously, if you already had Top Gun as the answer, you got to go with that. But I am actually named after the old James Gardner movie back in the day.
Well, that's my fault. I guess there's more than one Maverick. I am a huge Mel Gibson fan, by the way. So it's up to you. What do you want? Do you want to say?
We gotta give it to Top Gun. J.R. Boston.
Okay.
We gotta give it. Yeah. Because that's what you guys had already planned as the answer. But I will say that the Mel Gibson reference, I see you.
All right. Well, I appreciate that. My fault for not doing enough research on my end. But hey, big congrats to J.R. Boston. hopefully pull a cool Red Sox player out of that. I'm sure Brett Phillips wouldn't want that to happen, but JR Boston is a huge Boston Red Sox fan. So let's see what you pull. Show us what you rip later in chat. Congratulations. With that, let's just deep dive into more questions by the community. So I'll go back to the top, and let's go with Kurt Lana asks, what's the most surprising part of becoming an MLB player that maybe you didn't expect?
Oh, man.
And that feels like a loaded question.
This was from Kurt?
Yeah, Kurt Lana.
Kurt, hey, thanks for asking that question. I'm going to have to go with the amount of food that is provided for us. I have a quick story for y'all. My first time in the big leagues, I get called up with the Milwaukee Brewers, June 5th. We have a 2 or 3 game set against the Giants, and then we're taking a private plane to Arizona to play the Diamondbacks. After the game on a Sunday, it's a 1 o'clock game. After the game, we have a steak, chicken, fish, a side, and a vegetable provided after every game. It's part of the agreement, the CBA agreement, that a team has to provide that. So you're eating a full course meal at the stadium after the game, and then you're taking a bus ride to the plane. And as you're getting on the plane, I was greeted with a Chick-fil-A sandwich. And so I was like, yeah, like I'll take a Chick-fil-A. This is all new. I'm excited, right? I'm new to the big leagues, and I get Chick-fil-A. They got sauce. I love ranch. And as I'm going down the center of the plane, where people put their luggage on the left and right top side, that's all filled with snacks. So I'm talking fruit, chips, candy, and I'm just the rookie that I am, right? I'm like looking around, shoveling food like into my backpack. Like, is this for us? Like I'm wide-eyed, and so I go sit down, and I'm eating my Chick-fil-A sandwich. In between, I'm taking candy out of my backpack secretly, and I'm crushing. And then the flight attendant comes by and says, "Hey, Brett, we have an appetizer. Would you like shrimp cocktail?" "Yes, please. Of course. I would love some shrimp cocktail. This is great." So she brings that by. We take off. She comes back about an hour later into the flight. "All right, so now for your meal, there's 3 things. We have a bison burger, a meatball sub, or a chicken entree." And I was like, yes, like, please. I would love. This is really cool. I would love let me try the meatball sub. So crush a meatball sub. As the plane, I kid you not, the plane's about to land, they come back by with dessert, like ice cream or warmed up cookie, and then milk, chocolate chip, or whatever, 2%. And I'm like, yes, please. I kid you not. They had to almost roll me off this plane. I was looking around like, is everyone else as sick as I am right now? The amount of food that I had consumed was just outrageous. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is insane. And everyone was laughing at me, and they're just like, you know what, Phillips, you're a rookie. Everyone goes through it. You have to kind of take care of yourself. There is a lot of food. They want to keep us, obviously, energy, carbs and stuff, but there's a limit, and I learned real quick what that limit was. So that's really cool. Really cool thing that I learned as a Major League Baseball player that I didn't know in the minors. Way different.
Food is life. I'm a big foodie myself. I can't limit. I mean, I see cookies, I see candy, and not a company. I mean, yeah, it's all hands on deck. I
right?
I can't consume one. It's the whole thing. So that's where I'm at as well. Glad we can speak in unison on that.
I think everyone in here would, provided, if it was in front of their face without knowing kind of what the situation was, would say yes, and respectfully say yes. Yeah, I'll, if it's gonna go to waste, like, I'll eat it. But
yeah.
So.
Absolutely, you're doing a courtesy service for the world. Doing your part.
Yeah.
Sully asks, I know you mentioned growing up a Rays fan and your hometown. Do you ever feel that it's odd playing in your hometown? What are the most special aspects about maybe playing growing up, idolizing the Rays, and now playing for them?
Yeah, Sully, thank you for asking. Playing for my hometown team is something as a kid, I always dreamed of playing Major League Baseball, but not only playing Major League Baseball, but playing for the Tampa Bay Rays. And I know everyone in here who grew up playing a sport probably thought the same thing, right? Like JR, you just won that pack. I'm sure, I don't know how old you are, but somewhere along the lines you wanted to play for the Boston Red Sox. And I'm just as everyone else in here, having that opportunity to do that for me is just, it's mind blowing. I feel so blessed. My people I went to high school with, everyone has kind of rallied behind my career and has supported me, and it's really cool to witness kind of how I treated people growing up, because it's all coming full circle to me on how they're treating me. And I'm just really glad that my mom and dad and stepdad raised me to be the man that I've became and how I love and respect everyone, because with that comes a lot of responsibility, right? Like I could have been a terrible dude in high school and was just a dick to everyone, and I could be playing for the Rays right now and it not mean anything to anyone in this community, and then be like, you know what, screw that dude. He was such a punk. But for the position that I'm in, it's just again, it's so hard for me to put into words how blessed I feel. So yeah, I appreciate you asking that question, but just so many cool things a part of being in the community I grew up in, and being a major league athlete is just awesome.
I can only imagine. I mean, it's always nice to have that constant support from those that been there from the start, and just watching you do it on the biggest stage. With that said, everyone as a baseball fan, they typically imagine themselves, they close their eyes, they imagine it's bottom ninth, 2 outs, World Series, hitting a walk-off. Well, I mean, you did just that, and I guess I'll open that up as a trivia question. Which game in the 2020 World Series did Maverick walk off the Dodgers?
Wow, that was fast by D.H. Russell. Holy cow. D.H. Russell coming in super quick.
Oh, yeah.
Wow, give that man some love. Give that man some Tampa Bay love right there.
Was your finger on the number 4 the whole time?
For real, that man had 4 just like typed out already. Like, good for you, DH. You earned
amazing.
That.
Well, I mean, you're going to be receiving an MLB Icon pack, something that's very, very coveted. Congratulations. Hey, that trigger finger's strong.
Congratulations,
super well done.
I love it. This is as fair as it is right here.
And I mean, would you be able to expand on that just a bit? I mean, it's such an incredible moment. As much as it broke my heart and created absolute tension the following days, as a lifelong Dodgers fan, I mean, you go up here. It's your first plate appearance of the series. I can't imagine how much stress you're under. You're against this monsters team, Los Angeles Dodgers. I mean, they're kind of known as Yankees West. Shout out to my teammates who are all Yankees fans and absolutely loving those comparisons. But this absolute juggernaut to get past, and you're just standing there. You're tasked with the last inning, the last outs, and being the man to do it, to drive this home. So just walk us through that experience, what it was like.
Yeah, it's for me. First of all, I always give credit where credit is due. Definitely a monster. The Los Angeles Dodgers, they played a heck of a series. They were the better team. They won the World Series. All the credit to them. So with that being said, Game 4. Now let me preface it by saying when I got the call from Kevin Cash, I was left off the ALCS roster because that COVID year we played 7 straight. We need extra pitching. Phillips, don't hang your head. You still have an opportunity to be on the World Series roster. Go out, be the best teammate that you can be. So World Series rolls around. Kevin Cash calls me and says, listen, we're going to put you on the roster, but you're probably not going to get an at-bat. Like, just how many position players we have, it's just not lining up. Things would have to go sideways for you to get an at-bat. I said, Kevin, thank you so much for the opportunity, allowing me to play in the World Series with my hometown team. Just being on the roster is special enough. I am very blessed. Let's go win a World Series. Boom, hang up. That was a conversation with with the manager. Game 1 rolls around. I play the outfield. Game 2, I think I pinch ran. Game 3, I don't know if I got in. And the series is tied at 2-1. We go into Game 4 of the World Series. Now, this game, I think everyone in here has seen this game and how it went about. Like, they would go up 2, we'd come back and score 1, chip away. We'd go up, they'd tie it, and it was just a heck of a game. And I'm sitting on the bench, like I always am, and I'm witnessing all of these position players off our bench get used to going to hit. And I'm like, man, this is crazy. Like, this is a heck of a game. Like, I'm enjoying this game from the bench. It's so good. So the 8th inning, bottom 8th, where there's 2 outs. Phillips going to pinch run but for G-Man Choi. So I go in for G-Man Choi. We got the 3rd out, and I go in the dugout, get my glove. I go out into right field. I had no expectations of going out, like getting an at-bat. Because when you get pinch, obviously when you pinch run for someone, it's usually someone who just hit. So in that ball game being, I think it was 2-1, right? I just didn't have expectations of, hey, I come back in, and Hoover, one of the coaches, he goes, hey, you're up 5th. You're going to win this game for us. And I was like, internally, I was like, is this man crazy? Like, I'm not even supposed to be getting an at-bat in this game, let alone I haven't had an at-bat for 2 weeks, and I haven't had a hit for a month because of just the circumstances. But on the outside, my exact words were like, heck yeah, let's go win this game. So I go down in the tunnel where the batting cage is, and I'm hitting, and I'm kind of watching the game unfold. And Kiermaier gets on base on a single. The next batter, I think Yoshi Tsutsugo, pops out for an out. So there's 1 out. I'm coming up. I'm in the hole. So I start walking towards the dugout. Randy Arozarena is hitting in front of me. Everyone knows this man looked like Barry Bonds during that World Series, and he was getting on base. So as I go out on deck, every situation that I've pinch hit in before, regardless if it was the regular season or not, I felt some type of performance anxiety, especially off the bench. I haven't up until this year, I hadn't been able to kind of grasp the nerves and the atmosphere of the big league stadiums and just all the pressure it came with. So I would go up to the plate with feeling kind of out of breath, that in between, like, oh, I can't catch my breath. I don't feel comfortable. Well, I'm standing on deck, and I just feel this calmness come over me, and I'm looking around. I'm like, oh, that feels different. And Randy puts together a heck of an at-bat, and he draws a walk. And as I'm walking up to the plate in this Game 4 of the World Series, man on first and second, there are 2 outs. I am feeling zero pressure at all. My shoulders are down. I am as confident as ever, and I'm just like, wow, something's different here. And if you look at that at-bat, you kind of see my face. Everyone says, I don't know if you looked nervous as can be or you were just locked in. I was locked in, and I get a couple close calls called on me. Kenley Jansen, premier all-star closer, he's going to get those calls. And, after that, down 1-2, I made contact, which I was super surprised. I was like, no way, I just hit the ball. I start running, and everyone knows madness ensued. Like, things like that do not happen. And wow, just what a crazy moment to have in my career, to have forever, regardless of where my career ends up, right? Like, I have a moment in history that I feel so blessed, and I give all the credit to God. This is the works of God for me, regardless of, what you believe in. For me, this is what I believe. So just really cool. I'm glad that you gave me an opportunity to share that in depth, but that was what was going through my head. I almost passed out, by the way. First time ever getting an IV. My resting heart rate was like 160, and they're like,
Wow.
yo, this dude's going into shock. Like, the paramedic came in the clubhouse, and I was like, what is wrong with me? I'm such a dork. Any other big leaguer would have been like, yeah, like I knew I was gonna do this. This is, like, they would have shrugged it off. Can you imagine like Mike Trout running in the outfield like that? You would never see it. But Brett Phillips, who came off the bench in Game 4, you can't tell me like how I'm supposed to celebrate, because I don't know how to, like, that. I've never been in that situation ever in my life, and this is the inner kid. This is what I was told to internally to do like I would do in the backyard playing with my friends, run around like an airplane. So thank you for that.
Well, I mean, that's as relatable as ever, although none of us have done that. You made us feel like we were there. I mean, your storytelling is absolutely legendary. I just got to give you props. I mean, if there is ever a career down the line in broadcasting, I would love to absolutely tune into every single game, because the way you can paint a picture. I mean, it's just insanely cool to hear this from a player's perspective, let alone on such a large stage. So truly, thank you for sharing that. We appreciate it.
Yeah, of course. Thank you. And you know what? Broadcasting is something that I actually have a passion for. So maybe in the future, if you guys continue to give me love and, and you're like, I like how Brett Phillips explained things, like shoot out on Twitter, like MLB Fox Sports or, MLB Network. Yo, Brett Phillips in the future is your guy. Like that, stuff like that would help me out. So thank you.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. We would love to see you just hear your golden voice on the big stage. And, your stories are also very entertaining, as they are dramatic in the moment, as you're just, stating with your at-bat against the Dodgers. So love the variety. You're a multi-tool player on the broadcast, I'm sure, and we'd love to hear more. With that said, let's jump into the next question by Izzy, who asks, who is the filthiest pitcher you faced?
Ooh, Izzy. Thanks for the question, Izzy. I have a number one. I mean, I have to go Garrett Cole. Listen, everyone. Listen up. I went 0 for 5 with 5 strikeouts against Garrett Cole this year. He just made me look and feel like I've never played baseball ever in my life. And no pitcher has ever, like, I've faced DeGrom before. I've faced some of the best. Him and Wheeler, Cole and Wheeler, just the spin rate at 98, 99 at the top of the zone, I can't hit it. And I really hope there's no big league pitchers in here listening. Like, if you throw 98 to 100 with 22 degrees of vert on your fastball, you're going to get me every time, because I just cannot keep up with it. Just looks like it's rising. When I swing, it's not on my barrel, and I'm just like, this is unbelievable. So Garrett Cole takes that as being the filthiest pitcher. 0 for 5, 5 strikeouts. Not saying much because it's Brett Phillips. I'm 5th outfielder for the Tampa Bay Rays, but dude's nasty. I tip my cap.
You're too humble. You won a game against the World Series champions and walked it off. I mean, that will be the stuff of legends forever. And on top of that, I would love to see that as a candy NFT. So, hey, team, if you're listening, please, although it's against my team, just the love we have for Brett upon having him as guest here, I would love to see that myself. Speaking of filthiest pitchers, I want to do shout out that Brett Phillips did take the mound. I believe it was last year, so that will be a trivia question. First one to answer this will get an MLB icon pack, so get ready.
People are saying Blue Jays.
Don't say it. Don't say it yet. I didn't ask the question yet, so save the answer. Well, I mean, now that you said it, well, I guess we'll get the first person that said Blue Jay.
Wait. Hold on. Let's. Can I?
You want?
Yeah. Can I expand on that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because that was too easy. That was too easy. But it's about pitching. How fast was my fastball? Oh, right there.
Okay, let's go with that.
All right, yeah. So 90. Who got 94 there first? Texas T won that. Of course, a Yankees fan. Texas T. Nice. GGs. Quick to the punch. GGs on that. This is really cool that you guys are doing this, by the way. But yeah, pitching. What was going through my mind? Why was that happening? I wish I had an answer for you. I'm out of control. I'm crazy. I'm a nerd. I didn't realize there were cameras on me in the bullpen, and until I got back to my phone. Being in Buffalo that year, I didn't know how they had it set up. And honestly, I was just making our bullpen guys laugh and the Blue Jays guys. And then when I got back to my phone and they exposed me, I had like 20,000 new followers. I was like, oh God, like what did I do? Right? Like my mind instantly goes to, I just got canceled or something. And then I see me being a goof in the bullpen. I'm like, no, they got that on camera. And so, it's luckily people thought it was cool. It was lighthearted. 162 games. You had those few old heads who were just like, this is disrespectful, but come on, like games are gonna. It's not like football where you play once a week. Games are gonna happen. It doesn't matter if you're the best team in the league or the worst team in the league. You're gonna go through those periods of time where games are gonna be out of reach, and you have to throw a position player to save pitching. It's just how it goes. We play so much, so it was the most fun that I've ever had playing on a baseball field because there were zero expectations. And what a great moment. I loved it.
That's what it's about. And, thanks for sharing your experience on the mound. Following that up, I do want to ask, it's trivia time, by the way. You'll have to name both in the same sentence, but which two 2021 AL MVP finalists did Brett pitch to? There's two of them. So, first person to respond with both of them in the same sentence.
It was Vlad and Simeon, right?
Yep.
So, Kawhi. Am I saying that correctly? Kawhi right here? Cowie?
Was it Cowie?
Cowie, yeah. GG's,
all right.
Cowie.
Well, congrats. I'm not sure what team you're a fan of, Cowie, but we already had the Red Sox win one. We had the Yankees win one. I'm not sure what Izzy, you'd have to remind me what team you're a fan of. But let's see how many of the AL East opponents we have. Hopefully we can get some Rays love in here, winning a pack. That would be a sweet touch.
I just saw JR say
Blue Jays.
They sent you into
Blue Jays.
They sent you in against Murderers Row. Listen, I've never been so scared in my life, guys. The only reason I was pitching with an open stance, because everyone's like, I've never seen that before, was because I didn't want to get smoked at 115 miles an hour right off my back or my leg. So when I see, and come on, we all know the Blue Jays offense is one of the best. It's one of the best offenses in the league. You can't argue with that. So for me, being an outfielder, I'm not a pitcher. I was just going to have an open stance where if a ball got rocketed, I could have easily protected myself. That's why I definitely feared for my life, Rich.
And Kawi is actually a Blue Jays fan, so we're kind of completing the puzzle here. Unlocking, I feel like this should be a challenge award if we somehow get these packs to all of the AL East in one go of trivia.
Yeah, we have a lot of AL East in the building, huh?
It's a very, very popular division.
It's a very, very hard division to play in, too.
It's probably the toughest in all of sports, to be honest. I mean, it is brutal, especially just taking a look at last season, not to mention all the seasons beforehand, but it is tight. It is tight. Let's keep it rolling now. I will go with, let's go with the question from SCW3. They ask, what is your funniest memory from your time in the minor leagues?
SCW3, thank you for the question. Funniest memory in the minor leagues would have to be when I was chasing a possum off the field in Biloxi, Mississippi. All right, so everyone who hasn't heard this story, there is a video on YouTube. There is a bobblehead that has been created by Biloxi from this moment. We're playing the Chicago Cubs, the Smokies, AA affiliate. And we're playing in Biloxi. And it's like I want to say it's the 6th or 7th inning. And I hear this noise. I'm playing center field. I hear this noise behind me on the warning track. And I look back, and there's a possum on the field. And the game is going on. And no one knows that there is a possum on the field but Brett Phillips in center field. And every pitch that goes by, I'm looking back, making sure this thing doesn't come up on me. And so the inning is over, 3 outs. What does a good citizen do? Well, a good citizen chases that possum off the field. Yeah, someone just put the bobblehead in there. So I start chasing this I start chasing this possum down the left field line warning track. And now the fans have started they looked on the jumbotron. They had me. I was like smiling, right? Like I'm loving it. I'm milking this moment. The camera's on me, and this thing, I kid you not, turns around to try and bite me as I'm chasing this possum off the field, and I'm like, whoa! Like this thing's hissing at me, trying to bite me, and I'm like, just never again. I'm deathly afraid of possums now. The teeth, the hiss that I heard. Everyone thinks they're so cute and cuddly, but yeah, not a good situation. They made a meme out of me, and my teammates, they loved it, tore me up. The possum wrangler I'm known as, and so yeah, probably one of the funnier moments in my minor league career.
I'm sure you appreciate the nickname, also your middle name, Maverick, more, but the possum wrangler does sound pretty cool. I won't lie. Intimidating animals for sure, rodents, whatever you may call it. But you have a way of going viral, and this was an amazing story that I got a chance to read upon like last night. So you definitely don't see that often. I mean, you hear about cats, but you don't hear about possums.
No,
you hear about
right?
possums
Like
also,
so
right?
random.
Yeah.
Random. And Usman, you talk about going viral. For the longest time up until that World Series moment, I'm known as the dude with the crazy laugh, right? Like I'm known as MLB's clown, and it gets to a point where it's cool. Like it's better to be known for something than nothing. But that World Series moment really collided the two worlds of being able to be myself and be a clown, but also be known for, okay, this dude can actually play some baseball. And as I further my career, I hope I can continue to, bring both together. But at the same time, it's really funny that I've just been not exposed, but weird things like that happen to me. And, it's humbling. But at the same time, it's cool to have a moment in World Series history to be known for more than just being a clown.
And what a moment. I don't think you're a clown the slightest. I think you're absolutely the most entertaining athlete that I've ever come across. And, that's saying a lot from the pool of athletes that have ever existed. But, we always appreciate your time. And I'm not closing this up. Don't worry. It sounds like I am. But, that's appreciate it. It's amazing to hear these kind of stories, and we appreciate your fan service to entertainment. I will say that, not to say that you're putting yourself up there solely for that, but it's really cool to hear these stories firsthand as well. With that, I did have your laugh, and I did have the possum as trivia questions. So now I am kind of just I'm kind of on the fly looking for one more. And how do you think we should go away this last pack? I'm curious. We need to brainstorm ways. I'm trying to see if it should be a trivia question.
Let me think of a question that people will really have to dive in for. You know what? If you want to ask a few more questions.
Yeah, you know what? Let's do that.
Let's ask a few more questions, and then at the very end, I will have came up with something that hopefully should take more than 2 seconds to have the answer to.
I love it. Thanks for the assist. I appreciate it.
No problem.
I came loaded with questions. But yeah, we still do have quite a longer list of questions. By all means, we'll only field a few more. But yeah, hey, don't guess ahead of time, chat. As soon as we started talking trivia, we already saw random answers from things that might be a trivia question. So hold. I know Pax are really coveted, but just hold until we actually ask him. All right. Let's go with. I think I like this question. I think it's one that every athlete answers from time to time. But Chuck Butt asks, who's your role model? Maybe in life, but also one that you maybe grew up idolizing as an athlete.
Yeah. Who asked that question?
It was Chuck Butter.
Chuck Butter. Thank you for
fun name, right?
Chuck Butter. Thank you for the question. So I loved in high school and still to this day, Curtis Granderson. I think how this man went about his career as a humanitarian, as a just a wonderful human being in a era of baseball that he could have easily been in just another ego, like just another dude. And Curtis Granderson, I admire because you will never hear a bad thing be like in the baseball world from teammate to teammate. You'll never hear someone say anything bad about Curtis Granderson. And for me, that's kind of a legacy I would like to leave. When it's all said and done, I hope I have a heck of a career when it comes to career numbers. I hope people can, say, Brett Phillips was a solid average Major League Baseball player or better, regardless of that. But I want people to follow that up with, but he was an even better human being, and he treated everyone with love and respect, because at the end of the day, that's what matters most. And everyone in here should have that same mentality in their life, regardless of if 1,000 people know who you are or if 10 people know who you are. When it's all said and done, that is what the legacy we should all be worried about, is how we are treating people on a daily basis. These are things that we can control, and that is as easy as it sounds. There is so much out of my control as a Major League Baseball player. Once the ball leaves my bat, it's not like I can sit here with a joystick and guide this baseball to a base hit. No, like that's out of my control. Once a ball comes at me, I can't control what it's, but I can control how I show up each and every day and treat the person who is checking me in security, right? Like I take the time to say hello when I'm walking through the tunnel, to go out of my way, whether it's the person who's pushing the stack of waters to go sell that night. Like this is the legacy that I want to be known for. And Curtis Granderson, to your question, is someone I believe did a great job of doing that. So again, I mean, that's what our focus should be. And I appreciate y'all.
I appreciate that. I appreciate hearing that. And, you talking about just being a genuinely good person. I mean, hey, everyone here, you're probably big fans of Gary Vee. He probably brought you NFTs, but he speaks about positivity, being a genuinely kind human being, patience with others. I mean, hey, careers come and go, no matter what space it's in. But, you'll leave your imprint among others based on the way that you treat each other. That's a real legacy, like Brett was referring to. I mean, that's everlasting. You want people to remember you in a good light. So, hey, that stems across Discord. Treat each other properly. And I know you all do. You're a warm, welcoming community. But just maintaining that and really hammering it in, because it is so important how you treat others and are respectful of one another. So thank you for saying that, Brett.
I'm glad you touched on that as well. Coming into the Discord, think about everyone in here who is grinding in their job. Like everyone comes from all walks of life listening right now. And when someone gets to come in after a hard day at their job, they do not want to be attacked because they are some type of fan that you don't agree with, or, we all don't have to deal with that. But at the same time, there's a lot of valuable information that's being spread in this Discord, in the Discord, the expansion punks, that you have to treat people with love and respect. It's not that hard. So if you guys continue to create a solid community, a candy community, taking pride in being really cool people, it's only going to help the brand, the Candy digital brand, and then just this community in general, because people are going to want to come in here and not only listen and get valuable information, but they're going to want to just connect with you. And think about how cool of a friendship you can connect with someone who's, a Rays fan, and you guys meet up for the Rays game because you guys like Candy Digital and NFTs, and then you share that passion. They're just cool people. That's what all of us should be prioritizing and putting at the top of the list.
Absolutely. Touched on, a plethora of great points. Hey, like trash talk encouraged, but in the end, just really want to foster and maintain fostering the community that we have, which, I just want to say it again, is absolutely amazing. I'm constantly in awe by how warm and loving you all are. And that's just one of the perks of collecting candy is being a part of this all. And having a membership in this club. So just big kudos to you all, and I just want to give you all props that you deserve, and
huge
Brett for saying that.
Yes.
Absolutely.
It's a huge utility that candy can offer. I know everyone in here who invested wants their pockets to get bigger. That's an investment, right? That's a part of investing in something. You want it to grow, but giving a utility to someone who is having a bad day and being cool with them is going to go way further for you than making a couple $100 or, in my opinion, regardless, win or lose, you're doing something good.
100%. Let's go with maybe one more question, and then if you have that trivia question in mind,
yes, I do.
Let's cap it off. But so appreciative of your time so far. I mean, hey, I feel like we could do this all day. You've just been such a fantastic guest, and I appreciate you. So let me try to pick a really, really good one out here. Okay. I do like this. It's specific towards candy. So if you want to talk about baseball or any other facets of life, anything in the NFT industry, just please let me know and I'll shift. But if you did want to touch on this, just let me know. It's about candy. Okay. So FH _0x meta. Sorry, I just had to get it all out. They ask, any fun ideas for candy NFT utility? What would you personally like to see?
Ooh, FH coming in with some heat right there. That's funny. So before candy launched, I direct messaged them on Twitter, and I was like, I love this. Like, I love what you guys are doing. And I knew I wasn't going to be a part of the All-Star set. Even though I was an All-Star announcer, I know everyone saw that, hey, MLB sent me out to be an All-Star. I was just an All-Star, interviewer. I don't know if you guys saw that or not. So I was looking for my Candy Digital All-Star pack of me interviewing guys like Aaron Judge and Mike Trout and stuff like that. But no, I mean, I didn't see it, so I was a little let down. But I was like, you know what? In the future, I want to try and be involved. If there is a card of mine, I want to put some type of utility towards it. I'm getting constantly asked to go on everyone's podcast. I cannot physically set enough time aside to go on everyone's podcast. It's just the reality of it. But say someone has my card and pulls it and has a podcast, boom, 100%. No questions asked. I'm going on the podcast, right? That would be a really cool utility. Or if you draw my card, what about a FaceTime? A one-on-one, we just air it out. We talk baseball for an hour, me and you, regardless of who you're a fan of, and we just shoot the breeze. Or how about an autographed jersey of mine or baseball, just really cool things that I would love to get involved with. But I know that's going to come in the future. And I believe, hopefully, as I continue to progress in my career, it'll draw a lot more fans, not only to candy, but kind of the concept behind NFTs and Web3 and what the utility can provide. For myself and my wife, we have a company. It's called Baseball is Fun. You can find, it's an apparel company. It's a movement. It's something that I'm super passionate about. I said baseball is fun after the World Series. Everyone loved it. I took a piece of paper and I wrote out baseball is fun in my own handwriting. There it is right now. Thank you so much. I wrote
Absolutely.
out baseball is fun, and I have the Flying Man logo on the back, and my wife, we put it out and we're like, you know what? This is a movement. Why did we get into the sports in general? Is because sports are fun. And so it's super simple. And I was almost thinking of creating utility for my baseball is fun people who have bought into that and supported. My wife and I are exploring that right now. Maybe putting a plug-in on our website. Whoever bought our apparel will be able to throw in where they want to go to a game next year. It'll be probably maximum of 4 tickets, and we will just pick at random. We'll set aside money to kind of just give back to the people who are about this movement of making baseball fun, because it is fun. I know Bryce Harper in the past said make baseball fun again. Like, no, baseball is fun, and this is what I'm doing to grow this game in a place where I feel in the future is just back to being the best. I know football and NBA, they're a little ahead of us with Top Shot and cool things that they're doing. The Nickelodeon broadcast, however you feel about that, regardless if you think it's stupid or not, it's growing the game for the younger generation. And I believe we need to, as baseball fans, start to create more things like that. So that is a little background. I know that was long-winded, but yeah, this is just things I'm passionate about.
And hey, baseball is definitely a lot more fun with you here, and chatting with the fans as you are and creating these initiatives. We're a bunch of diehards. We love baseball. We have more patience for it than many others that may complain about the pace, but it's beautiful nonetheless. And all the quirks that are entailed with maybe traditions or the little things that happen in the dugout. I mean, you can't find that in other sports. And I appreciate the mission to constantly evolve, propel. With that said, I'm not sure if you had one final trivia question.
Yes.
You wanted to address the community with.
Okay, this is it. I know this has been so fun, super exciting. I hope a Tampa Bay Rays fan gets this. There has been one other animal that I've chased off a field. Where was it and what was it?
Same sentence.
Same sentence. Where was it and what was it?
Someone said giraffe in San Diego. I mean, hey, it is San Diego, so they have that zoo.
Someone's going to have to dig deep for this one on Google.
Anyone get it yet?
I saw
Chat's
someone
too fast.
Nope, no one's got it yet. I did chase off another possum in Quad Cities, but that's not it. Yeah, that happened.
I think you're the only athlete to ever chase 2 possums.
No doubt.
Oh. Someone said fish Denver.
Getting closer. Closer.
Okay.
To the sec. Oh, I see you getting closer. Beer makers fan. I'll just say that's close. I'm not gonna say what is close about it, but Snake Denver. There we go. Colorado. Bro Mero.
Snake in Denver. That is terrifying, by the way.
Yes,
I'm definitely afraid of snakes.
Bro Mero got it. It was in Colorado Springs. It was a snake. Denver is close enough, but yes. A snake was on the field eating another snake when I was out in left field in Colorado Springs. It was crazy. It was like a rat snake or something. It was a big one eating a small one. And I was telling the umpire, pause the game, time out. And this umpire, I didn't know, he's just like, what? Like, what do you want me to do? And I was like, dude, there are snakes on the field. Like, I don't play baseball while I could be eaten by a snake. That's just not cool. And he finally called the inning, was just like, all right, time, and ran out there. And he's like, oh no, I'm not getting involved. I was like, thank you. What took you so long? Like, if a ball got hit down the left field line, I'm dead. I'm getting eaten. Brett Phillips is no longer a professional athlete because a snake ate him. And luckily the grounds crew, he took care of it, came out like the beast that he is. He had the prongs and put this huge snake that just ate another snake in the garbage can. I was just like, that did not just happen. I no longer want to play on this field. And yeah, so just hilarious. Great job. Seriously, guys and women, whoever's in here, thank you so much for taking time out of the night to listen to me tell stories. I am very passionate about baseball. I am very passionate about the fans of baseball. I love this game. I will continue to pour into this game as much as I can. With that being said, everyone who's on Twitter, If you tweet at me, I will try and either favorite, retweet, or reply back. I want to give that utility to everyone who's in here tonight. If you're on Twitter, take a moment, tweet at me. I want to give you guys the utility of just giving you all some love. So thank you guys so much again. This has been huge, and I'm super excited for the direction that Candy Digital is going in. We have really cool community, and I'm glad to be a part of it. So thank y'all.
Hey, Brett, from the bottom of the community's heart, we really, really, really appreciate you being here. I'm going to keep this channel open just because I want you to be able to reference all the very, very supportive and loving comments that our community has shown, because you're an absolute legend. Once again, thank you for taking time on a Thursday night with us and really just spending with the Kenny community. So we appreciate you and hope to have you again.
All right, good night, everyone. God bless. Take care, and we'll hopefully baseball will be back here. We'll all be having some fun. Take care, guys.
Absolutely. Have a great night.
See you.
Take care, community. Take care, Brett.